Alright guys, today we are playing a deck called Jerk's Ultimatum. You will find out why. So we run Yorion, 4 Arboreal Grazers, 4 Omen of the Sea, 4 Leafkin Druid, 4 Growth Spiral, 4 Omen of the Hunt, 4 Risen Reef, and that's basically all our ramp. Okay, then we run Mythos of Aluna, 3 Spark Double, 1 Aspect of Lamprey, 2 Questing Beast, 1 Cavalier of Night, 3 Yarrick the Desecrated, 1 Command the Dreadhorde, 2 Thought Distortions, and that's going to be basically if our opponent keeps filling their hand, it's going to be a great way to get rid of everything in their hand that's not land. Kogla, good for a fight, good for destroying artifacts or enchantments. Colossification, basically it's only in here if you emergency need the life gain from Yarrick. And then the main deck card in the deck, Emergent Ultimatum. Search your library for up to 3 mono-colored cards with different names and exile them. An opponent chooses one of those cards, shuffle that card into your library. You may cast the other cards without paying their mana cost. So you choose Yarrick, Cavalier, Spark Double, or Questing Beast, or Thought Distortion, and Raise Forerunners, and you basically just give them no good options. So that's how the deck runs. Oh, and then the land, we run 34 land with 4 triomes. There's actually supposed to be 4 Fabled Passage. Okay, I did not realize Fabled Passage wasn't in there. Alright, let's see how it does. And you will notice that the video is edited, and that's just to cut down on wait times. I will show every game, win or lose, and then I usually fast forward through turns that my opponent takes a long time to choose. So from the point that I stop talking right here until we actually start the game will probably be fast forwarded. Okay, that's going to be if the game ever starts. Okay. So we have a good land base, Omens, Grazer. Yeah, this is definitely keepable. So we play Breeding Pool untapped first. And then Grazer's Triome. So that we get the tap land in basically for free and on turn 1. And then if we want, turn 2 we could Omen of the Hunt or Omen of the Sea. Depending on what the opponent plays and how the first turn goes. It also depends on our draw. If we draw a land, we probably don't need to Omen of the Hunt yet, so we would probably Omen of the Sea. However, we do need to get a lot of land for this deck. Yeah, and it seems like our opponent is just on the stall game. Maybe they had to emergency poop. We've all been there. Clicked play and heard the tummy gurgle. Oh yeah. Anyone who that has not happened to is a liar. Okay, we have 2 colors. We have Growth Spiral. I think we can keep this. Now, if we don't find more land pretty much immediately, we are going to get punished. But we do run 34, so slightly higher than the 40%. So we kind of have to hope this is a land. Perfect. And the next one would be great if it was a land as well. And this is actually just in here for emergency life gain, which we are probably going to end up needing against this deck. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and throw out the Risen Reef. Our opponent had a couple very big turns there. With 2 Footlight Fiends, when they die, deal 1 damage to any target. Scorpion, when it dies, deal 2 damage to each opponent and gain 2 life. Yeah, no reason not to attack with all. There's no chance I'm going to block. If they want to get rid of the Risen Reef, they're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Pretty unfortunate for our opponent that they had to use a Skewer the Critics on a Risen Reef. Okay, and we're already up to 6 of our 7 land. No blocks again. Our opponent has played Bastion of Remembrance, which I call it poops out a creature, and whenever a creature dies, I lose life. So I could command the Dreadhorde here for 3 and get back my Risen Reef. I think I should just Omen of the Hunt and search for. I actually do need to look at the colors. So I have green, 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 black, black, blue. So I can get blue or green. But I'm just going to go ahead and take blue. And since I don't plan on bouncing Yorion, ooh, Yarok is interesting. But Yarok cannot be something I find with Ultimatum. So I will keep that on top. And no attacks. I'm going to go down to 9 this turn if the opponent doesn't have any tricks. Okay, and now Emergent Ultimatum. So Thought Distortion isn't good. Cavalier's pretty good. Questing Beast is pretty good. Forerunners, so usually I go through and I just select what interests me first. I'm definitely going to need to be gaining some life. So Great Henge might be another option. Since they have chump blockers, Questing Beast isn't quite as good. So I think Great Henge would be a better option. Gives me a little bit of life gain and even more mana fixing. And then if I want, next turn I can Colossification on my lifelink dude, if he gives it to me. So, and this part is always confusing for people. They're choosing a card for me not to play, for me to shuffle back into my library. So sometimes they will give you, okay, so I want Cavalier to resolve first, so I cast it second. Oh, actually it won't matter. But the 4/5, ooh, can't gain life is very good. Okay. So we spark double the Forerunners so we can kill Tybalt. Because we need him to... Actually, I think we can probably just kill our opponent. Yeah. They're going to gain 5 by blocking, deal 5 damage, 7, 9 damage. But that happens when they die. So this is 15, 23 damage, and he can block 5 of it. 6 of it. So he will die before his creatures die and give me the effect. Alright, we do have a good mix of colored land. We do have an Omen of the Sea. It's not great, though, because we don't have any ramp. I am going to go ahead and try it. Because we get the Scry right away, Arboreal Grazer puts us on ramp. So next turn we can Watery Grave tapped, Grazer, Fabled Passage. And then we have Omen of the Sea if we don't run into if we don't run into other mana, if we don't draw mana right now. Really, even if we do draw mana right now. Okay, the opponent is on the cycling route, and we do see that they are cycling away some of their stuff. So we need a land here. Cavalier of Night is also good for a couple turns from now, so I am going to go ahead and keep that. However, I do need more land to play it. Yes, so I can't keep it. Okay, then I can activate this. Probably for green, just to give me a blocker. Against the cycling deck, you don't want to be taking a whole lot of damage very quickly. Because their goal with the Flourishing Fox fight is to deal as much damage as they can before turn 4. Wow, running the Ozolith is interesting. And then on turn 4, Zenith Flare for whatever's left. So Questing Beast here is actually pretty good. Oh, I should not have attacked with both. But Questing Beast will block the Flourishing Fox if it needs to. Really all that means for the opponent, though, is they need to play another creature, which is okay, because it does slow them down a little bit. And we see that they've cycled 2 Flourishing Foxes and 2 Dranith Stingers. So if they don't have creatures in hand right now, are they just mono white? Or are they just not finding their other colors? Okay, we are getting a little stuck on land, so I'm going to have to do this. He's probably going to block the 5/5 because they are Vigilant Death Touch, so he will not get a swing back. And it could be that he's just... Wow, really? It could be just that he's not finding red land. And I will be completely honest, I don't care that he doesn't find red land. Okay, so he's gonna have 2 chump blockers next turn, as long as he does it right. If he cycles on my turn once, he'll have 2 chump blockers. Ultimately, we just need to start hitting land. And there's really no point in not attacking with the Flourishing Fox now. Yeah, I guess I'll do this. Really unfortunate. He did it wrong. If he had... I'm so confused. If he had cycled on my turn, he would have had 2 1/1s for jump blockers. So he's got Zenith Flare for 11. And we love to see Zenith Flare hit a creature instead of our face. So I'm definitely okay with that. And I should have gotten a blue mana with the Omen so that I could at least cast Yorion next turn and scry 2 and get another land. Should have paid more attention to the land I have. So we can't take 13, so we are going to have to chump block here. We're going to have to chump block again. Okay, we are pretty close to being able to Emergent Ultimatum. If he does have another Zenith Flare in hand, though, and he kills Yarick with it, well, actually he shouldn't. If he has a Zenith Flare in hand, he should hit us and then swing in with everybody, and I'm pretty sure we die no matter what. That doesn't seem to be the case, though. It looks like he's trying to figure out, yes, which creature to cast. The Ozolith is a very interesting addition to this deck. Okay, we do have a plethora of colors, but nothing before turn 4. Cannot keep that. Risen Reef here is good. I don't think it's enough, but I think it'll have to do. And we throw End Rays back in. And unless you're drawing a lot of cards, Arboreal Grazer is really only good on turn 1. Okay, our opponent has their own Arboreal Grazer. And they are putting in Lotus Field. So they must have... Oh, they're probably running the... the Planeswalker. Whenever a creature power 4 greater enters, draw a card, and then untap a permanent. So they play it, they untap Lotus Field, and they have essentially gotten it for free, and then Lotus Field is worth 6 mana per turn instead of 3. But we are on Thought Distortion this turn if we get a land. Correction, if we get a black land. So no blocks. We did not, so now we Yorion. And bounce. We don't need to bounce the Grazer. It doesn't do us any good. So now if we draw land this turn, then we have to choose between, actually only a blue land, no, any land. Then we have to choose between Emergent Ultimatum and Thought Distortion, and I think since they haven't done a lot, Thought Distortion will be better. So we'll see what they do. They're going to mutate again onto Gemrazor. So now he gets to search for a land and destroy an artifact, but we don't have an artifact for him to destroy, or enchantment. So, alright, so yeah, I think we just Thought Distortion. And we know they're not running... Oh, right, non-creature, non-land. So we do get a glance into their hand. It does have reach, but it's only a 4/4, and I don't think he wants to do that yet. That's a 6 mutate. He does have Essence Symbiote. He has 3 Paradise Druids, though. It seems odd that you would not cast Paradise Druids as soon as you can. So he discarded nothing. We did get to look at his hand, but 6 mana to look at his hand is not a good payout. I forgot Thought Distortion was... Well, actually, it was our only play anyway. I mean, I guess we could have Growth Spiraled. Okay, Emergent Ultimatum. So we definitely want... What do we want? We want Kogla. We want Cavalier. And Forerunners. The Great Henge also would have been a decent option, would have given us some more card draw. Okay, so they want us to... Actually, it doesn't matter what order I do it in, because Kogla does not have haste. So Kogla is going to fight him. And I believe he has to block. 13, 16, 18. Yes, he does. So we were able to race to Emergent Ultimatum. This is not very good, except we have Omen. So we're going to go ahead and try it. Okay, so now we need to Fabled Passage on turn 2 so that we can hit Risen Reef on turn 3. No, actually, we can still do this and Omen into a green land, I hope. Kogla, you are not a green land. You are pretty cool looking, though. Okay. I guess we're doing it the old-fashioned way. Comes in tapped. Risen Reef does say the land enters tapped, so there's no point in paying the life for it to come in untapped, because it just doesn't work like that. And we have gotten mass payoffs with Risen Reef. And we can go ahead and swing for one. So I think next turn is Thought Distortion. Because I don't believe they run... I know they don't run all creatures. Okay. Exiled both of our boards. And that's why I went to Thought Distortion right now. Again, our opponent is stuck on land. So we can Yorion. We can Omen. Could just get out Kogla. Might not be bad. Because even though it doesn't fight now, it can fight later once I cast Yorion. And when it attacks, I can destroy their enchantment. And that leaves me with 3 mana. Okay. They got stuck on land. I've been there. We've all been there. We got... Alright, this is a pretty good hand. Got one of each color. Arboreal Grazer to get a different color out. So we can Risen Reef on turn 2, and that's always nice. So we're going to pay 2 life here, Grazer. We're going to play this one tapped. And pass the turn. Starman 973. Draws an Omen of the Hunt. Not exactly what we wanted to see, but not the worst draw we could have had. Well, I like drawing cards. I think we just Omen of the Hunt here and guarantee we get a land. But this time we are going to pay attention. We need blue. And no attacks. Nice. So probably in 2 turns we can Emergent Ultimatum. If we draw land here, we play Omen of the Sea first. We make sure we draw another land, then we Growth Spiral, and we can have played both lands and gotten up to 7. Okay, we did not draw a land. Neither of those are what we need. Still not a land. And the Leafkin no longer draws us a card or does land. But it is extra ramp. So we'll go ahead and crack this for green. And now, assuming they don't kill the Leafkin Druid, we have enough for the Emergent Ultimatum. And having 2 Spark Doubles in hand after an Emergent Ultimatum is great. Because the enemy almost always gives End-Raze Forerunners. And Spark Doubling and End-Raze Forerunners is typically just game over. Okay, and our opponent is not stuck on land, actually. But because of the amount of ramp, extra land plays we have, we're on 7 land. They're on 3 because this one had to come in tapped. There's no need to attack with that because it doesn't have Death Touch. He has no mana to do anything with it. So here we go. Alright, so this is definitely a viable option. I know he runs quite a bit of creatures. Maybe a Questing Beast. Definitely a Forerunners. Maybe a Kogla. So maybe not Thought Distortion. Maybe not Questing Beast. His guy also has Death Touch, so maybe having another Death Toucher wouldn't be bad. And I think the Great Henge for the extra card draw. And now the opponent is choosing 1 for us to shuffle back in. And it is the Forerunners. So I am going to play this just to get the counter and the draw. Okay, and then move to combat, and I'm going to go ahead and swing with my Death Toucher just to get their Menace Death Toucher off the board. Yarok mixed with Colossification is always good. Okay. The opponent does not want us to have free counters and card draws, which is understandable. Okay, so we'll block here. We would have been able to Yarok and Spark Double in the same turn. Oh, we still can. And Mythos of Aluna is a lot of fun because it can copy any permanent instead of just creatures. So if I want, I can take one of his, not take, but copy one of his Stormfist Crusaders. So his Menace deck is not working out quite like he wanted it to. Gets Death Touch and Lifelink, makes sense. So I think here I Colossification the little one. That leaves me with 3 mana. Yes. And then Risen Reef. Tapped. Spark Double. And Kogla. Kogla is great for fights. So now our opponent is kind of in a situation where they need to win right now, because we're going to gain 23 life next turn. So now I have to block with 3 creatures to block 1. So I'm just going to go right to combat and attack with him. And he is going to get killed by a Death Toucher. And now his Stormfist Crusaders are going to be killing him. So I'm going to Mythos one of them. And then Kogla, I'm going to fight the one that says I have to block with 3 creatures, and I guess this one. Okay, and then Grazer. Okay, the creature he took does not have Menace, so I can block with a Grazer, whose only job has been done. Okay, he gets to destroy one of my enchantments. Probably Omen of the Sea. Yeah, he was hoping to destroy Yarok, but that is not going to happen. So he's probably going to sacrifice my Kogla. And put a counter on that, but that's okay. So he is coming through for 3 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage. Again, that is totally okay. And if he had done that after the damage happened, my Grazer would have died as well. Alright, so I am going to Spark Double Yarok. And then cast Yorion. And I'm going to exile this and this. Oh, that's also a Spark Double. So I just can't exile both Spark Doubles. And I don't need to exile the Grazer because it doesn't help. Submit 0, submit 0. So we are going to play the Grazers, or the Grazer, because it's free. And I'm going to go ahead and pay... Oh, it says tapped. So that was my mistake. And I guess I might as well attack with this. Forerunners, very nice. Another Risen Reef. Emergent Ultimatum. So next turn we win, for sure. Because next turn we have Forerunners and Spark Double. I did not mean to do that. Don't need either of those. Actually, I don't need anything now. I mean, yeah, sure. Discard 6. We don't need you. We don't need 2 Thought Distortions. We're good on land. Don't need you or you. We might need you, just in case. Okay, and they destroy the flyer, which tells me they have no answer for flying. So this Pestilent Spirit is getting through no matter what, because it has Double Strike, Trample, Death Touch, which means it only has to deal 1 damage to any creature we block with before it tramples over. So we're taking 8 from him. Okay, sacrifices 2 tapped lands to draw 2 cards. Whenever a creature becomes blocked, defending player sacrifices a creature that's blocking that creature. Ultimately, though, we're going to take as much damage as we can. That is odd. That you don't attack with the creature who has... who basically makes it... Oh, man. Yeah, that's game. Wow. Alright, so that is the deck. It's a lot of fun to play, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you don't see Emergent Ultimatum. You are running an 80 card deck, so 1/20th of the deck is Emergent Ultimatum. But when it does happen, and typically you are drawing enough cards that you do see Emergent Ultimatum, but when it does happen, it's so much fun. And then the thinking about the psychology of your opponent giving you 2 things to cast for free is incredible, and I think that's what makes it the most fun. So if you like the deck, try it out. If it works for you, great. Leave me a comment and a like. That would be amazing. All right, have a good day.